Hello and welcome back to the RC Fitcast. If you didn't see, I was on the drums there, drumming out to the intro. It's been a minute. Jesse, Andy, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Grinch games today. We just had those. And then how to stay healthy during the holidays. We'll have a couple tips for that. But first, I would just like to say, everybody, give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends. This one's going to be really good, especially talking about the workouts that we just did this past weekend at the Grinch games. But right now, let's we're heading into the holidays. We just had Thanksgiving. We just gorged ourselves on 3 or 4 plates of food all in one day, took in all the calories. What are some tips and tricks, Jess, to get through the holidays feeling good about yourself and not having to do a new year, new me, but we can stay same you, new year, continuing to get better?
Yes. So I think the biggest thing is to not have guilt about the foods that you eat. Eat the food. Don't carry shame and guilt about eating the food. Um, so many of my family's traditions are centered around food. And I look forward to my family Christmas parties for all the foods that I only get that my great aunt makes this dip that I love. And I get it once a year at this family party, and it's my favorite thing. So I think the first thing is I really like to focus on keeping foods rather than in a good versus bad food category, thinking of foods as a sometimes food versus an everyday food. Because cake is not a bad food. Every single person, even if you're diabetic, should be able to have a slice of cake every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
The decision of eating cake every day or eating an entire cake in a day is a bad decision, right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
happens to the best of us, okay? But I I'm like thinking my birthday cake, it's fine. But don't like I go to my family parties, I think we need to think about um I started thinking about my birthday cake and I got distracted. Um it's so good, you guys. Um, but having a healthy relationship with food and not having good food versus bad food is huge to me. Um, I like to go to my family parties with something that I know is a good choice for me that I can eat a lot of and that my kids will for sure eat. So my go-to is always a veggie tray. Every family party, every friend get together, I have a huge platter and I load it with veggies and a homemade ranch. Um, that I think that way at least I know I'm getting vegetables and then I can go over to my aunt's shrimp dip and eat a lot of chips with it. So I feel like I just kind
Oh
of
yeah.
balance it out a little bit.
There you go.
Um, the other thing that I really like to think about is quality over quantity.
Mm.
So a few months ago, I had 2 weddings to go to in the same day. One wedding had a bunch of their refreshments that they had were like lemon bars and brownies and pumpkin squares, but they were like all from a box from I was just like, and I knew the other wedding we were going to was going to have good desserts because their family owns
Mm.
Taggart's. So I knew the dessert, like I knew. So instead, like everyone was eating all the desserts, and I love pumpkin bars and I love lemon bars and I love all the things that were there. But like from a from the grocery store, I'm not going to love it. But homemade ones, I'm going to go after that one. So to me, I'm going to choose the one that I'm really going to enjoy the most and save that splurge for the best option. Does that make sense?
best
So I'm not just
best
going to
bang
eat
for the
like,
buck.
yeah, like I'm just not going to eat like a cookie with sprinkles. It's like a sugar cookie with like sprinkles, but no frosting from the grocery
Mm-hmm.
store. But you take me to Brookie Bakes and I'm going to order a Jimmy Doodle and eat that bad boy all day long. So Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
That's very
choose
good.
wisely. Don't just eat it because it's there. Like, if
Exactly.
you're going to have something, choose it because you really love it and you want to enjoy it, not just, well, I should have a dessert.
Right? Everyone's having dessert. Let me have dessert,
I
even if
should have
it's not a
dessert.
good
Yeah.
dessert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then speaking of desserts and treating yourself, for those of you that were there at the Grinch games this last weekend, you may or may not have seen someone on this podcast that you wouldn't think eat a donut
No.
sit there in the back of the gym and just all of a sudden mash a whole donut in, I don't know, 3 bites. So Andy, tell me about what you think about the holidays. And I mean, we all get it. It was at the end of the day. We just done 3 workouts.
I needed calories.
We needed calories. I understand that. So you can give us some insight.
No, my family is very similar to Jesse's, just like I'm sure a lot of families are. Activities, get-togethers are centered around food. It's always been like that. So holidays, I expect it, and I look forward to it. Honestly, powered by
That's
donuts.
awesome, Dan.
Yeah, shout out to Harmon's maple buttercream donuts. They are the
Oh, that
bomb.
sounds.
They are so good. Anyways, yeah, so I look forward to our get-togethers, just like I heard him. I'm already looking forward to our Christmas dinner that we're planning right now because I completely missed out on Thanksgiving, having COVID over Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's one way to not eat so much. I didn't get to enjoy that, but so I will make up for it at Christmas time. My mantra is definitely you got to splurge every now and then, or else you're just gonna go overboard too often if you don't plan it out. It's better to plan it out, So I look forward to whatever get together I know is coming up that is going to have some good quality food. I agree, Jesse. It's got to be quality food. I show up to a lot of activities too, or store bought, and I've tried it in the past. And I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time on that,
Yeah.
But I'm a little I take a little bit different approach, just me personally. When I go and I know I'm going to splurge like on a Christmas dinner and desserts and all that stuff, I probably go a little too overboard and make myself feel sick, and then I just don't want the food for weeks.
A while, right?
Another year.
I mean, that's one way to do it. It's probably not the best way, but that's kind of, enjoy it, but know that it's just going to be a one-time thing, or a while longer before you do it again. Another thing on that note is, around the holidays, certain emotions come out for some people, whatever it may be. And me personally, I'm an emotional eater. A lot of people are, and that kind of ramps up during the holidays, especially for me. So I really have to watch myself. So to kind of counteract that, I just ramp up my gym time. I have extra days off around the holidays, so I just take that opportunity to do some 2-a-days, or make sure you're going at least once a day, and I always look at whatever splurge that may be of dessert or whatever. Me personally, I take it out on myself and punish myself in the gym the next day. I'm just weird like that, but yeah.
I think that's a great
Don't
thing.
forget to go to the gym.
Don't forget to go to the gym, but also don't forget your steps. Because a lot of times people are like, I'm so busy during the day. For me, like my family, one of our traditions is making Christmas candies like old school, like grandmas make. Like we make turtles and divinity and fudge and peanut brittle. And that's an entire day of cooking. So I don't go to the gym that day, and I'm walking back and forth in a kitchen and mostly just standing over the stove, stirring all day. That night, I'm going to for sure make sure I get all of my steps in, if nothing else. So even if you can't make it to the gym, watch your steps. Get all of those in. Go for a walk. It's going to get cold, but bundle up and go for a nice walk.
Crisp air is nice.
Yeah. Don't say, I didn't make it to the gym. I'm feeling bad. I'm going to eat some more food. I'm an emotional eater at Christmas too. I get it.
Or just start the day with 1,000 burpees, and you don't feel guilty later on when you're splurging.
Woo!
You won't be able to
Maybe
lift your
200.
arms to
Maybe
eat anything.
200. All
How about
right,
you,
very
Casey?
good. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'll dovetail off both of you guys. I don't have too many great tips and tricks. I don't usually do too well around the holidays. But what I found, I guess I can say since I've been traveling a lot, really focusing on the quality of food that I'm putting in my body versus quantity of food. It's been I've now found a couple of different restaurants I like to go to. This is kind of more of an in general advice than holiday advice, but yeah, making sure you're working out in whatever capacity, continuing to move throughout the day, and then also, spending time with your family, but not overeating. Right? If you have a big enough family, or if other people are going back for seconds, you don't always have to. And if people are going back for seconds, like take the veggies, maybe a couple more times over an extra set of cookies. So that's all I have to say about that. Not really a whole lot. You guys have much better insight than I on this one. But yeah, very good, listeners. This is uh, that's the short, quick, to the point, how to get through the holidays, gym style, RC Fit style. But yeah, keep remembering going to the gym. But speaking of the gym, speaking of working out, speaking of doing a lot of workouts, right? We had 3 workouts we put together for the Grinch games. And I don't know. We can kind of break this down. We can throw up some videos right now, Dan, if we want to throw up the start the rowing, and we'll kind of talk through this workout, and we'll say I'll kind of prep each workout, I guess, about what we were thinking with each workout. So I had spent some time writing down some workouts, and then I passed them by Kevin, and we tested a couple of them. This kind of little background, and I saw I got a little bit of inspiration from a couple of different workouts online across a couple different competitions. But so I had the idea to put together 2 rowers at 2,500 meters each. You had to row down within 10 minutes on each rower. It kind of calculates out to a 2-minute pace on each. So no slouch of a pace, right? So here's Andy rowing on the screen in a classic slow is smooth, smooth is fast pace. So Andy, when this workout got released, what'd you think? And what kind of went through your mind?
Oh, strategy, trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out, especially because each team was made up of, such a variety of fitness levels. You had to kind of strategize how you were going to. The main thing was keep both rowers kind of at the same pace.
The same pace, right? Like making sure you're
Yes,
getting to 0 at about the same time, right? That
yes,
was the
that
biggest
was,
thing.
yeah, most definitely. Who are your strong rowers? How are you going to match them up, and how are you going to rotate if you were going to do that? And so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
figuring all that took a little bit of thought process.
Yep, that was and communication during that was kind of hard, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're the first rower and you're trying to talk to people, you kind of end up, obviously you're rowing about 500 meters, maybe 400 meters, maybe 600, depending on what you're doing. And it was, it's a little bit hard. You're out of breath and you're trying to talk about transitioning, and someone's really got to think while working out. And that was really the fun to watch and see teams go through that. And then having to go through that ourselves was really fun. Jess, what did you like about the rowing aspect of that workout? What did you find fun out of that?
As a coach, I always tell people slow down your pace, pull harder, and you will go faster. And there's a lot of people that doesn't really click for them. And it wasn't until they watched Andy on the rower, Kevin was announcing, and he said, I can't remember, I didn't quite hear like the meters that you were going, but he said I could only hear like at 22 strokes. And what do you know what you were pulling there, Andy?
He was
Do you
pulling like a
remember?
one. It was like a 137, a 139, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like a 22
it
strokes a
kind of
minute pace.
Kevin had said that, and so people kind of turned their heads. And I had multiple people come up to me after the work, like, it makes sense now. How, like, he's going so much faster, but he's going so slow. So I think that was a big moment because it just made so many athletes like have this aha moment, like, I get it. It makes sense now. And it helped a lot of people, especially the heat after you, that I had a few athletes that had struggled with that before. And so it really helped them. And that was my favorite moment of like, and then I also loved a moment that I'm gonna let Casey share that he pointed out to me that was really funny to go back and watch on film, but I can't find the video now.
So there was one, the first heat when I was rowing, and it also kind of happened the second heat as well. But Taylor was rowing really, really hard, and I could hear him next to me. And then, but he had rowed so hard and pushed off the rower so hard that his butt slid off the seat and landed on the erg. And Chelsea, you can see in one of the videos that is up on the Instagram page, Chelsea comes from behind and picks him up, and he's able to sit back on the rower and keep going. And then in the second heat, I was judging Andy's team, and Renee did the same thing. Andy had jumped off, and Renee got on, and she was hammering. She was killing it. And then all of a sudden, you see her kind of do a double bump, and her butt's behind the seat, and she kind of looks back like, "What do I do?" And I said, "Hold on." I lifted her up. We slid the seat back underneath her, and she was like, "Okay, thanks." It just kept going. But that was a really, really fun time. How you're in the middle of competition, and all of a sudden things happen, and you just kind of got to improvise and keep going with it. But second half of this workout, so a big power driven workout. This was right. So rowing and then into a lifting complex, and the lifting complex. We kept things not going overhead, so we wanted to kind of test people's squatters out. We knew everyone would be kind of zapped from the row. So the complex was a deadlift, a clean, however you wanted to do it, and then 2 front squats. So, Andy, when you saw this, did you have a number in your head that you were like, okay, I'm going to want to try to get to XYZ number for myself personally before, like an ending number for the day? Like, did you have an idea in your head?
Yeah, initially I thought 205 I would definitely hit.
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal. 225 was kind of my aspiration. Like if I hit that, I will be very pleased. But it's amazing. And I talked to a few different people about this, that this was like their first competition. It's amazing what that environment does for you and pumping you up and giving you that extra power and strength and energy that
Oh,
you
right.
just wouldn't think that you would have, especially after rowing so much and just being
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. I got right off the rower, and I took the first 2 minutes, I didn't lift.
Oh,
I
yeah.
took the first 2 minutes just to get my breath back because I was so exhausted. But then, I went 135, 185 up to I think then I just
Yeah, you went to
jumped right up to
225,
225.
and then it
Felt
was really good. It
solid.
was a really good lift, and then you threw the 10s on for 245, and that's what we're watching
Yeah,
right here.
which was right at the 8 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, because it felt really solid. I think I definitely could have taken one more attempt at a little bit more weight.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
yeah, I was happy with it.
I understand that. Yeah, I had the same idea. I really wanted a knock on 205 was the idea, because I knew with my team, I knew I was probably gonna have to row pretty hard, and I ended up rowing just over 600 meters to end, and I had to haul ass to get in, to get that rower down to 0. So I actually, same thing. I took 2.5 to 3 minutes, and I didn't lift at all. So I burned 3 minutes worth of time to lift, but by that point I was able to get my breath back, and I ended up doing like a 165, 185, and then a 215 lift. And then the 215 lift felt great, and I was really wishing I would have thrown 225 on, but you live and learn. You never knew, you never know how strong your legs are going to feel after that. And that row is just a big, big warm up for
And
that.
the regret was definitely doing
Yeah.
the workout the day before RX. Those 30 clean and jerks at 155.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
They hurt on the rower. That hurt.
So,
that would have
oh,
hurt.
go ahead. I found the video of Taylor
Oh, where he falls off.
falling off. So if you watch all the way on, he's in the red shirt.
There he is. Yeah.
Oh, is this the right one? I think it's from the other angle. Maybe this isn't the right video.
I thought it was further away.
It was from the other angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the one that I sent.
Yeah, it's that one. It's this one
down
right here. You can see him
right
all
here.
the way at the end. It's hard to tell.
Oh, Chelsea.
Yeah,
just
you can
lifted
see
him up.
Chelsea
So she's
just
in the blue
jumped forward.
shirt. Good job, Dan.
Sitting there right now.
Zooming in there.
Chelsea comes over, steps up.
Seamless.
Renee said that before she even realized what had happened, she's like, and someone was just scooping me up and putting me back on.
Close up of the glitter.
Yeah, there's the glitter beard.
Oh man. But yeah, it was great to see. Shout out to Christian on my team. He was like, man, my heaviest squat clean ever was 200 pounds. And he does the whole complex at 200 pounds. And here's Tiger fighting through a lift. That's not slow motion. That is
she was stuck there for like 5 seconds.
Fighting through the sticking
crazy.
point.
That was impressive.
The thing I loved about this is that is the example of a 1 rep. That is finding your 1 rep when you are going so slow like that. Like she is grinding the entire way out of that squat. She cannot do anymore. She left it all out there. And that was my favorite lift of the day.
That was so awesome. And how her form wasn't breaking down during it too. She stayed upright, driving the knees out, incorporating every muscle that you can to hit that lift. So that was really, really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah. So workout 1 down in the books, it was a power workout, right? And so workout number 2 was pretty fun because we incorporated a lot of synchronization. That was the whole goal to the Grinch games this year, because it's a team competition and we wanted to see teams work together. And even if it's people from different times of day, how well are people going to work together? So WOD 2 was 4 rounds of you go, I go, teams of 2. So it's really only 2 rounds per person. So you can do 60 synchro wall balls to the target. So or passing wall balls to the target. So we stood 2 people at a target and we passed them back and forth. And then we have 20 synchro burpees and 10 synchro deadlifts. So the deadlift was kind of fun, where 1 athlete on the team did 185, 2 athletes on the team had to do 135, and then another athlete on the team did 95. So with your 2 athletes, athlete 1 and 2 would go, and 1 athlete would do 85 and 1 would do 135, and then the others would go, and you would do 95 and 135. And the wall ball targets were 10 foot, 9 foot, and wall ball weights were 14 and 10. So I wanted to make sure everyone could do this, as well as I didn't really want people to rest, right? Because it's only 30 wall balls when you're splitting 60 up between 2 people, and it's only 2 rounds of it. So this was it. You're passing the wall ball back and forth between each other. So you're getting a good amount of rest between each movement here. So Andy,
most
again,
people win unbroken.
Yeah, so that was the whole point, was to see people go unbroken, and that was really, really cool to see people challenge themselves and go unbroken. And it was like Christian and I were talking to each other, and he was letting me know how he was doing. Okay, I'm still doing good. I'm still doing good. And it's always a fun time to see people push themselves, right? Like a lot of people rolling out their quads after this workout, because had a lot of not a lot of squatting, but 60 squats is a good amount of squats in a short amount of time. So when you saw this, again, strategy, right, was very important.
yeah.
But what else did you think
Mhm.
when this workout came out?
On the wall ball specifically, I was trying to strategize to see how we could go unbroken. In all honesty, I think almost everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get that little bit of a break. I've done this a lot of times. I've done a lot of paired up wall ball tosses like this, and just through my experience, I know that you get that quick breath in between. You can go a lot longer,
Mm-hmm.
and people just don't realize it. But the synchro burpees were interesting. Trying to, especially I appreciate your standard there, because you could have gone different ways with the standard, like having to end
Mm-hmm.
up at the top together or whatever. But I liked how your standard was leaving the floor together. That gave us a little bit of leeway as to how we wanted to kind of approach that workout.
Yeah, like how I really wanted to be like, okay, I want people to be, even if someone's fast, right, they can wait on the bottom for somebody
Yep.
else, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
all you got to do is both people have to have their chests on the ground at the same time, and then you can jump up whenever you want. So,
Right.
or step up or whatever you need to do. So it's a little bit better than having like someone just standing there waiting for like,
Mhm.
then it's doesn't, and also I wanted somewhat visually appealing, right? Oh, here's a bunch of looks of no reps. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, that was a fun one to think about, and we actually tested this workout at uh at 15 burpees, but Kevin and I thought it was not enough, right? 15 was kind of like the breaking point of saying, okay, we had less wall balls and less burpees, and then we were like, wait, if we're swapping like this, we want it to kind of be a engine workout instead of a power workout, because the first one was a power workout. So here we are, let's add more burpees, add a couple more wall balls, get people a little bit more gassed, and then throw them on a not so heavy barbell that people can just rip off the ground. So and just move through. So that was pretty fun. And then yeah, like being able to see synchro deadlifts, I thought it was a move that's not a thruster. So I feel like if we would have put a thruster in there, people would have hated my guts. So
It
here we are with the deadlift. Jess,
was
what
a
did you
great
like?
program. Great
Yeah,
program.
what did you like about this workout? How did you feel watching people go through this?
It was really fun for me to watch this one. People were really happy through the wall balls, and they were like, having a good time while their partner was doing them. They came off the wall balls really happy. And even throughout the workout, like I don't feel like anybody got too crushed. Taylor puked after every workout. It's just what he does. He pukes in like a workout every day, like all the time. So this is not an abnormal thing for him, but it was really fun to watch people who maybe had lifted like 150 before, and they went to the 135 barbell and did all of those reps. Then they were like, I'll try
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't know how it's going to go. And, my Aunt Renee, I have to give a shout out to her because she's 73 years old. And
Crushed it.
she was like, I think I can lift 95 pounds. Never done that before, but I'll try it. Like, she doesn't want to use her age to say, I don't think I can do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so she was like, we'll see what happens. And so she found a weight that worked for her and she did it. Like, Andy, you saw her, she was on your team, and I
85
moved pretty
pounds.
well. Yeah.
Every
Crushed it.
round
That's a lot.
unbroken on those deadlifts.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
She realized on the first workout, it was her first competition that she's ever done. She just signed up a few months ago to do CrossFit, and she came off the rower, and after the workout number 1, she was like, I did not even think about form on that lift. And so I think I had some nerves, and now I need to focus, and I'm going to focus on my deadlift. So I think it'll be okay. So it was good. But it was fun to see people hit all of those deadlifts that they didn't think they were going to be able to, or they just had never tried before.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it.
Good. Very good. All right. Wraps up workout number 2, and then workout number 3. We released it to everyone in the gym at Grinch Games. No information at all. A lot of people wondered, was there going to be a bike? I mean, I love to end things with the bike. It's just so good as far as just a finisher, like a little crusher, if you will. But we had never, one thing Kevin and I spoke about was that we have never incorporated a heavy bit of gymnastics into Grinch Games. It's always been something we've steered away from. And this year we added pull-ups to the Grinch Games. And then we added, so it was a one person going at a time. We had to accumulate 200 pull-ups or ring rows. So one athlete on the team did ring rows, or sorry, one athlete did pull-ups. The other athletes did ring rows. The athletes worked for 30-second intervals. And if you could go for the full 30 seconds, you went for the full 30 seconds. And then if not, you took a little bit of break and tried to get as many reps in 30 seconds that you can. And then your other athletes were there just waiting to go on the ring rows. So once you got done with that, we did 30 synchronized ab mat sit-ups with the med ball. The whole team working together. So 2 people on one side, 2 people on the other went. And then we did Plyo Skiers, a total of 160. And then we ended with 200 calories for the entire team on one bike. And then on the bike, we had 1-minute intervals. It was great. I'll have a short story on that when we get to those 1-minute intervals. But starting out with the pull-ups, 30-second intervals. What'd you think, Andy, about the 30-second intervals of work?
I was excited. I'll be honest. I love pull-ups, so I knew I was gonna go balls to the wall for the full 30 seconds, butterfly pull-ups, don't let go of the bar, and see how many I could get. And
your team crushed it. You see in the video here, I chose to kip for the majority of the pull-ups. I would actually turn over my shoulder, and if I got to like 17 seconds and I was feeling pretty good, I started to do some butterfly just to get a rep or 2 more than I would. But for the most part, that was my pace. Shocker, Kevin and I look very similar pace-wise on those kipping pull-ups. But yeah, I saw you working and getting through your pull-ups, and I was like, oh man, you guys are absolutely crushing that part of the workout. It was just, I think you guys finished all those
we finished
pull-ups.
2 minutes faster than the first heat.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
good
crazy.
night. It was like 4:30, and you guys were on the ground already doing ab mats, and my mind was like, oh no, you're breaking my programming. Like my programming is going down the toilet. It was
But then
insane.
getting to the bike, knowing that we had the bike last, I was having flashbacks of last year. Grinch Games of the final events, falling off that bike.
Last year we did amount of calories in a
Right.
time frame, right? So that wrecks you a little bit more than we're getting to calories as fast as possible. So I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to set like a time frame of like 20 minutes, right? And then people just get to the bike and they're there for 6 minutes or something like that.
I definitely, I liked how you programmed it. It definitely made it more doable.
Yeah.
Easier to approach.
Let's talk about the Plyo Skier. This is a new movement to the Grinch Games, and we saw some pretty cool teams getting through it. Dan, can you throw up the video of Jordan and Mike on here? And I think Jordan's just laughing or smiling the entire time he's doing this. Look at him go. Oh man.
Oh no.
Wish we could hear the music. He's probably going to the beats.
I know, right?
They were.
It
It was so great.
good. Yeah, look at him go. So this is a Plyo Skier. Your a foot can stay up on the box the whole time, and if you wanted to, you can step up and over. It's really just, we just wanted people to get up and over the box. As you can tell, for the people watching that weren't there, this was a synchronized movement. For the majority of this workout, it was synchronized. So, and then Jordan would have switched the box that Mike is on, Mike goes away, and then another athlete comes in from the side. It was a rotation through. Any athlete could go as long as they wanted, just your partner had to go with you. So Jess, on this movement, what besides these guys doing it as fast as lightning, what did you like about this one?
I was really nervous that someone was going to go down
Was gonna eat
this.
it.
Like, I was just like, yeah, I for sure thought someone was going to fall. Especially after, the rowing at the beginning, going into those heavy lifts, coming off of more squats on wall balls. I was a little nervous. And honestly, I was just happy that no one did. I was just like, the whole time I was just like, okay, come on, please don't fall. But it was really fun to see people pushing themselves. Like, you could tell it was always one partner was like, come on, let's go, like cheering their partner on. And I loved that they were synchro because of that. Like, I love that it was such a team movement that one person was always, teams were always talking. They were always talking and really communicating together. And I think it was a really fun, like, team building day. I loved this one. I thought this was really
didn't
fun to
want
watch.
just one person. This movement would have been really easy for one person to take over and do a lot of reps, right? And so you needed at least two people to do that. And for the most part of those two people, right, one's going to get more tired than the other, and that person has to go back to back. So there was a little bit of strategy to be mixed in, but also, your whole team had to work together in this. And if you were just on there for 5 reps, you just got to let the other person know, hey, 5 reps or 10 reps or 8 reps, we just, that's what we got to do. And we're just going to keep moving. There was conversation, communication, well on the move. So that was it was fun. It was good. When Kevin and I tested that one, we were like, oh, this is going to be kind of fun. So it was cool to see it happen all in front of us.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that I really love about competitions is that people realize how much more they can push themselves on a daily basis. Like, Taylor, most people probably shouldn't push themselves as much as they did on Saturday. Like this. You can't work out like that every single day. But like, once you've gone to this place, that you can do more every single day in a workout.
And so on the video here, this is Adam. He was finishing for his team. He ended up being his turn up on the bike, and by golly, he was close enough to that 200 calorie mark that he blasted off somewhere in the neighborhood of like 1,600 watts, which is absolutely bananas, because I think the highest I've ever gotten one of those bikes is 1,000 or something like that, which was extremely hard. But he was laying down a crazy amount of wattage, and he got on that bike and it sounded like it was literally going to take off. And then all of a sudden they were done with their calories. And so huge on Adam to finish out like that. It was fun to see him. Adam came from the gym. He was at one time part owner in the gym, but he actually won the first to 50 bike challenge from assault bike from the entire world. He was the fastest guy to do it. I think it was like 17 seconds or something like that. He did 50 calories. So it was unreal. He would put weights on the 4 corners to hold the bike down, because obviously he can put down some serious speed on there. So really, really awesome to see that. And it's just efforts like this that showed up on the bike everywhere, right? This is the very end of the 3rd workout of a long day, and people are still putting out this amount of effort, which was killer. So killer.
Yeah. It was fun. This is one of my favorite moments of the whole competition. Oh yeah. And Adam on the bike is so impressive.
There really wasn't any strategy to last movement. It was just the transitions was the strategy. Be quick on the transitions. But as far as rotating people through, it's like, you're going to get your turn 3 or 4 times. So just keep going, keep
Just
going.
give her.
And
Yep. Don't give it all on the first one, but start to give it all on the second one. And if you end up back there on a third one, hammer home. It is that was my mental aspect to it. So it was, I pretty much left it out there on that second time around because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get us close enough that 2 more people can get us there. So it was but man, it was that one was a really fun workout. I love chippers. That one was a lot of Kevin had a lot of influence on that workout. That one didn't come out all the way out at the top of my head. Look at Kevin's face. That is how we all felt.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is great. If you guys are listening on podcasts right now, you find the video on YouTube and skip to this point about 40 minutes in, and you'll see Kevin's face. It's fantastic with Adam on the bike. But we'll go around. Andy, closing thoughts on Grinch games of our review here.
It was a blast. I was most impressed just with everybody's efforts, with your programming that you came up with, Casey. I think it was honestly very fair across the board, and really, created some team cohesion and teamwork that we had to really work together to get through each event. And so it was a blast. Really brought the box closer together.
Perfect. Jess, final thoughts, Grinch games.
I love that we had so many teams this year. I feel like that were people from different classes that had never met. There's less crossover now, so a lot of people don't know anybody else that comes to their class. So I think, like Andy said, just the community building is really my favorite part of Grinch games.
Yep. And Dan, if you could throw up the big picture of everybody. This was
that's
the
how
community.
Uncle felt about WOD
3. Community love about WOD 3. Tiffany telling me I'm number 1. That was a great picture. There's another one of me laughing. I have my head thrown back and I'm like laughing.
It's so great.
I think Jess grabs that picture from behind Tiff's shoulder or something like that. That was great. But yeah, I would say my favorite part was the turnout that we had, the athletes that we had working. It was great. I know a couple of teams got shuffled around, but all the teams it seemed like everyone ended up really, really fair, had a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, look at the turnout. Great turnout. We had 9 teams and about 36 people out of athletes. And then we had like Casey Stringham was there judging all day long. Man, that guy is he is about it, helping us all out. And really happy and thankful for everyone that showed up, all the judges that helped, all the athletes that judged that helped, and everyone that really laid it out there and had such a good time. It was amazing. It was fun to get the community back together, and like you said, to have AM people meet PM people and everyone mingle and talk and see. And there's people like that swung through the gym to say hi that day, right? So it was really, really awesome. And then here's the podium all the way across. Whoa, Andy, you're up there on the podium. Look at you, bud. But yeah, shout out to, oh man, I wish I had the team names. That would have been good. I'm not prepared.
Okay, I got him. Hold on.
Oh, Jessica got him.
Give me like 1 minute and I can get him. Okay, I thought of one more thing that I really love about the Grinch games. Oh shoot, maybe I don't have their team names. Maybe I can think of them. Okay.
Oh,
Team 6.
Dan's telling me it's the
Dang it,
Stocking Smashers, and I know that we were the Stocking Squad, and then Team 6.
And that's
so
and Team 6.
There we go. The shout out to all of the winners there. To get their name on
multiple
trophy.
people.
Go, Jess.
said, I have a goal today. I don't know if it's like a reasonable goal at all, but I want to like hit this number on a lift, or I want to, I battle this person in the gym. Usually we're similar, and I want to beat them on this lift, or I want to beat them. I want to get more calories on the rower, or more meters on the rower. Like, but it was fun to see that competitiveness come out in people, and I loved that.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of why we all do this deep down inside. Sometimes.
For sure.
I've kind of faded away from that, but it's just fun to throw down some serious watts or calories every once in a while and make people go, whoa. So it's a good time.
I think it's fun to win.
Yeah, winning's good.
Winning's fun.
Winning's good. Well, and on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap the holiday episode. We could just call it that. I don't know. That recaps Grinch games that gets us through the holidays. As we all leave, friends, share this episode with your friends, your family, your teenage kids. Get them listening to this instead of hip hop. I don't know. And then give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe to us. We're gonna do a little bit of an interview with some new coaches. Hint, hint. Next week, and we'll release that one before the Christmas break. We'll break for Christmas. But we're still gonna be getting some fitness in, so we'll let you guys know the schedule coming up on Wodify. Yeah, everyone. Oh, I do want to say, everyone, log your scores in Wodify. I don't see much of that anymore, and I want to talk about it on here. So log your scores in Wodify, friends. But on that note, stay healthy, my friends. Have a great day, evening, night, morning, whenever you're listening to this, and get to the gym today.